This is Catherine Rosasco Mitchell. Thanks for joining us. This is about the user guide to how to talk with kids, get sensational attention. And we've been talking about there's a missing piece that goes on in a child if there's something that keeps reoccurring that's a challenge in their behavior. And what's more important is that same missing piece is foundational to how they learn and how they can emotionally and mentally process what's going on inside of them. So let's look at the user guide and take a look at how we're going to do that. It's the user guide, how to talk with kids, get sensational attention. And let's just scroll down to the table of contents. So in the table of contents, we're going to share with you a little bit about what the program's all about and the two ways you can use the program, and if you want the science behind the program, and then what you need to do before you begin to start to view the videos. And then we're going to go through a little bit about the segments and how to teach you how these segments are interconnected physiologically. So let's scroll down to the two ways to use the program. And one way is to use just the animation video as a protocol or a culture in your school or your family. And by just viewing the animation video and just practicing long exhalations to help calm reactions and grow respect between members of a family or school. The second way, and this is what the user guide is going to help you with, is to help children develop a tool for emotional and mental processing from the top down to the bottom up. This means pulling attention from the brain down into the body and then feeling the physicalness of the body to clarify what's going on inside of that child. And how we're going to do that is all described in the segment section. If you want to know why we do the long exhalations, the science behind it, the relationship of attention to the movement of vibration and sound, and or why we use the word home, the science section is a really good place to begin with that. Then before you begin, you probably already watched the 3 introductory videos, and you're going to try to make this program. You can adapt it to fit your own culture, your own way of how you operate in your home or your school. And then I wanted to just point out that the very first stage of doing this program is to teach spatial awareness. But spatial awareness isn't about just the outside and the surroundings around us. It's a relationship of where that child is in space to the outside. So we're teaching this awareness of the physical ownership of the child, and so that their actions become more in consciousness with their space around them. And more is described in the user guide, and also a few games that are put in the appendix to start to understand how to teach spatial awareness inside and out. So the steps are reviewing the videos, and then review the user guide, and then show the children the animation video. And that's when we go to the segments. Now the segments build on each other. Each segment is physiologically designed to be interconnected. And what that means is that the segments build off of patterns already established in behavior and starts to re-educate those patterns. And let me give you an example. In the questions of the segments, there's no right or wrong answer. Basically, we're just helping the children explore how their bodies and their thinking are related. So we go down to segment 1, and in segment 1 you'll see the title of the segment and then this big gray box called Adult Corner. This Adult Corner is really going to give you the essence of what the program is all about and what to look for in the child when you ask the questions. So the first segment is, can you hear me? Where is your attention? And that is pointing to the awareness of their hearing according to the direction of their attention, and the direction of their attention is the behavior that is already wired into their way of being, and helping them notice how attention, where attention is, changes hearing, and taking the pattern of how they're behaving in their attention and just bringing that to awareness. Then we go into the segment 2 about what happens when you get angry and you try to do the home breath. So how does the shift in bringing reaction to turn attention inward, and what happens in your perception and in your mood when attention is turned inward to the body. So I encourage you to look at how each segment builds on the next, and that will help you understand how the program is going to start developing this awareness in your children about how their bodies and their minds, or their musical score, is really portraying what's going on in their life, and yet they may not be aware of that. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the very bottom of the user guide. Here's some of the games that we include in the appendix, and in the very bottom there's a glossary, and I really encourage you to look at that glossary, because the way we define the words will really change what you understand with how the questions are getting asked. So that's the user guide. If you'd like to get more information about each segment and want videos on that, please subscribe, and I'll put some of those up. But I really hope that this whole program helps you and your children find a way to drop into who that child is and the treasures that they have, and help the child learn about that. And more important, really start to turn education into the nature of how we're designed. So take care, and love to hear from you. And check the link below for the PDF of the user guide and the link for the animation video program that this user guide goes to. Aloha.